How you going, friends? It's Catherine Dodd here. Today we're going to be talking about multiplistic thinking compared to linear thinking. Now, these may be big words. You may be going, yeah, I know about that or not. But it's actually a very simple thing about how can we maximize our results to amplify and use our time in a better way. Now, I'm always up for knowing how I can use my time more effectively and efficiently. And I learnt this from Joe Pane a couple of months ago, actually. And what he was talking about is linear thinking is if we say, okay, I'm going to do one thing, and when I get really good at that thing, that's when I'll go on to my next thing. And it's basically working on one task until we've mastered it, and then we can go on to other things. Multiplistic thinking is we can do that one thing, and then we can also be doing another thing, and perhaps another thing, and another thing. Now, this is not to be in a place of overwhelm, because this is about actually how can we schedule our week, how can we schedule our month, so that we can incorporate a number of really important things into our businesses, into our lives, etc. So for example, let's talk about business, and this is how I've applied it to my business. So for multiplistic thinking, for a coaching business, for example, there are four things or four campfires that are actually important in a coaching business to be sustainable and have longevity. So it'd be one-to-one coaching. There would be one-to-many, so that could be webinars, workshops, etc. There is also product development, and then also there is building a community. So there are four things or four aspects within a coaching business that are actually important. And there will be other businesses that may be very, very similar that would have the same things that would apply to them. So for me, how I do it is I look at my week and go, okay, how can I attend to those four things? Now, for me, coaching would be happening on 3 of the days, and then sporadically throughout those days, 3 days. And then there'd be preparation for workshops and webinars, which I also do throughout the week. And what I do is I block off chunks of time. So it's not like every 5 minutes answering a phone call or looking at an email, etc. It's like, okay, the next 2 hours or whatever amount of time, this is going to be dedicated to building workshops, the next workshop or the next webinar. So that's what I do. And then in terms of product development, at the moment I'm going to be using one of TCI's products in my package suite that I offer. But in future, what I'm going to be doing is packaging up the things that I'm creating now, like the videos, the webinars, the workbooks, etc. So those things, as I create them, will in future create products. And I'm keeping those in mind. It's like, okay, those could be in that product. So that's something for a little bit later, but I'm preparing mentally for that. The fourth thing that I do every week is building my community, like adding value. So what do people want to know about? How can I help them? What things will empower them and make their lives easier in business or private personal lives? And that's building the community and responding to people and encouraging people and adding value to them, basically. So that's how I incorporate multiplistic thinking into my business world. And for private world as well, it could be, okay, for health, let's say this. So instead of going, okay, I will eat salads, and then once I've got the amount of salads right, then I'll start to look at other areas in my nutrition, or that's when I'll start to exercise. It's actually, health is combined of a number of different things. So it can be, okay, I'm going to ensure I get enough sleep. I'm going to ensure that I have a balance of rest. I'm going to ensure that I eat at least a good salad every day. I'm going to ensure that I do some sort of movement every day to elevate my heart level and get the blood moving. So they're just a couple of examples of multiplistic thinking instead of linear thinking. Now, in terms of making this a sustainable model, what I do, and I touched on this briefly, is have a schedule. So like a weekly plan, a monthly plan, and say, okay, my Monday to Friday, if that's your work week, would be, okay, I'm going to add in, these are my coaching hours. These are my hours for product, for one-to-many development, and these are my hours for building my community. And then the product development is like, yep, as I'm building my one-to-one and one-to-many, those things will be added into my product development. So that's how I do it. That's how I do it. I block off chunks of time to ensure that I can be focused on one thing at a time, and that's how it is not a thing of overwhelm of going, oh, I've got all these things to get done. It's like, no, the plan is set, the plan is there. Yes, it's a flexibility plan as well, but generally speaking, that's how I do it. So, friends, if you have really enjoyed this and you'd love to talk more about how to get more out of your world and increase your results and maximize your time, then I'd love to chat with you further. So my name's Catherine Dodd from Being All You Can Be, and I really pray and hope that that's given you value today. See you, friends. Bye.